This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Hello and happy homeschooling to you and yours. Welcome back. As promised, our short bite this week is going to be talking about some products that we had when we went on our trip. I think this will be our last of our wrap up around our world schooling travels. And we promised a little short bite on a couple products, and stay tuned to the YouTube channel that we are going to be putting together some videos talking about and showing these products. So we're going to probably put that together next week or so.
Right. And I guess we do have one more. It's going to be, there's next week's short bite's going to be about making a journal kit, because our daughter did do a journal.
Yeah, I think that's also applicable to almost anything. But
right. You could do that for, nature or anything.
Yeah, especially if you guys are doing any of the Blossom and Root, and that requires any of the nature journaling. And I know we're about to get into our first grade curriculum, which is the Ancient Civilizations with Build Your Library, and then it also has a little bit of a kind of a nature-y component as well. So if you're looking forward to, what curriculums you're going to be doing, stay tuned to that next week, where we'll talk a little bit about building a little journal kit and doing that for success.
And we're going to be getting started on our first grade stuff, and we have a plan for first grade about how we're going to tackle some things. Yep. So stay tuned. I think we're going to do an episode on that as well.
Absolutely. So let's jump into the first products that we like. So when you're leaving to go overseas,
or anywhere, any big trip with your family,
and you have to kind of put the important things together. We're talking about documents. We're talking about passports. We're talking about the credit card, as we alluded to in our previous episode, that you needed to have in order to rent the car. Right?
Those medical travel health insurance cards, the confirmations for your hotel, the copy of your birth certificates for both your kids, just in case, I've never gotten stopped and asked about trafficking thing, but I wanted to have the birth certificates copies for both my kids, that we could show that we were their parents.
Exactly. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. And also emergency Elsa coloring pages. You never know what you need to do.
Right. You never know what you need. So I found this amazing document organizer. It comes in 2 flavors. One of them holds 3 passports and one holds 6, because there's 4 of us. I went for the 6. It's a zip up pouch. It's got a couple of slots on the outside for your...
It was the size of, remember the old, we're dating ourselves. Hey, Ariel, do you remember we used to have CDs in the car?
Yeah.
Yes, it looked like one of those old CD holders.
That holds the double CD, two sizes, half a sheet of paper. I don't know. Anyway, so it's great. It had a couple of pockets on the outside for your boarding passes. It's zipped up so that all of your documents were nothing could fall out. In the past, I've used different types of pouches and things, and none of them were this great. It zips up. It has a hand strap and an over-the-shoulder strap. It holds 6 passports. It's got zipper pouches, 2 of them inside for your money. So we put all of our euros in there that we got from our bank before we left. I had all my hotel confirmations on one side, maps in the other, all 6 passports, or all 4 passports, I'm sorry. Our 4 health insurance cards, our extra credit cards, my license. You could really put everything in there. Yeah. And I loved having everything in one place, because let's face it, mom's the one that has to carry all this stuff, right?
Shots fired. I'm carrying everything else, including the kids.
It's not like I'm going to carry my passports and all my stuff and their stuff, and then yours is going to be separate. That makes no sense.
How did you feel, something for me, being in the software world and engineering world, single points of failure are always scary. How did you feel having all of that in one container?
I felt great, because when we got into the airport, it has an over the shoulder strap, and I actually put that across my body. Yeah. So I had that right on my chest. There was that thing would be taken over my dead body, and I didn't have to worry about
the way
everything.
It hooked into it, but felt good. As you could tell, I didn't do any of this.
It felt very secure, and I knew that I had it in my bag, and I got it out and I put it on my person the moment that I was in the airport, and I knew that it was I was safe, and I had everything I needed right there, and I didn't have to try to keep track of different things, right? So
that's good.
I really, really liked it. I would definitely travel anytime with this, because it just kept everything in one place, and it was, because it zips in multiple ways, it's very, very safe.
So that's a good idea in tracking all of your products, all the things that you have to
confirmation, everything, all that stuff.
Kind of pivoting into tracking yourself, and by extension your bags.
Right.
Talking a little bit about AirTags. These are iPhone. These are things you can buy from Apple, and I think 3 of them or 4.
It was 4 of them for $100. So
$100,
it works great. They're about the size of a quarter.
Yeah, a little bit bigger than maybe a silver dollar.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger,
and they last for 2 years.
Right, and they're waterproof down to like a foot or something. I mean, I don't know. You can spill something on them, maybe. Okay,
exactly. And what they do is they key in on iPhones that are around it. It's secure, so it doesn't mean that the person who has an iPhone near your AirTag knows your identity or anything like that. But essentially, they use all the iPhones in a given area in order to triangulate where that object is, and then that reports on your phone, not on other people's phones, only on your phone. And you can then track your whatever the object is. And in this case, we used it for 2 separate things: to track our bags through the airport.
And we got these little key rings that were silicone. You just put them in there.
Or you can actually just put it in your bag and kind of hide it in there. It'll work as well.
I like those, but
as long as it's near, I think it's within like 100 or 200 feet of an iPhone, it will interface with that iPhone and then report back to you, your phone, not via text message. It just happens. It's like kind of a whispery thing that you don't actually see.
Right. There's in the Find My app or whatever that you get standard on Apple. And I actually tagged mine with like the blue suitcase, the purple suitcase, the car seat bag. Yeah, I knew exactly what they were.
The tag,
You can name the tag and you can rename it later. So I had them all listed and I had them color coded by the key ring thing that I bought. And I just inside our bags, I clipped that on to one of the inside zippers in each bag.
So if you ever get to a situation where, hey, we've lost our luggage, if they're near another iPhone, you will know exactly where your bags are.
My luggage is in Detroit. Here's where it is, right? So it gave us great peace of mind because when we were in the airport, we could see all our luggage was together, except the car seat bag because that was oversized, so it was a little bit different location. But when
they put it in 2 separate places. So
yeah,
kind of funny.
It was neat to see. But the kids enjoyed watching it as we were in the airport, both going and coming back.
And then we could confirm that our bags got on our airplane.
Right. When we were on the plane sitting there, we're like, and all our bags are with us. Yes. And it says with you. You're like, yes. So you've got that sense of security leaving the airport that you already know that your bags are with you.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
And then where did we use it beyond that? We got these little silicone kind of bracelets that were like watches.
Yeah, they look kind of like watches, but they just have like a character face on one of them.
No digital surface or anything. It's just silicone. And then behind it, you can then take an AirTag and slip it in. And then put that around the wrist of your kid. And so they're walking around looking like they have like a little Mickey Mouse watch on, and they don't. It's an AirTag. And so if you are in a populated area like a city, or you go to Disney World, or you're at the zoo or whatever, and you lose track of one of your kids, heaven forbid if that happens.
It's happened to all of us, man.
It happens to all of us. We would immediately open up your phone, do the Find My, and if they are within, especially in a crowded area, there's, there's going to be an iPhone near them.
Right.
You can absolutely find where they are and it can go right to them. And the location, like how close you are to that object is incredible. You can be down to you can zoom in on the map and be within 5 or 10 feet of that object and it will tell you it's somewhere right around you. And so you wouldn't lose. It's not like it's like a 50-foot radius. It's very close. So
you can also set them up to give you an alert when you leave an AirTag behind. So you could say should never be apart from my child, for example.
Yeah.
So I can have it alert me, and the phone will alert me if you have a wanderer. We have a flight risk child. She's always
she's gotten better.
She's getting better, but she will just kind of take off. And I can see at Disney, I'm going to AirTag both the kids. And we didn't use it the whole trip. We used it in the airport when we didn't need it for some bags, and then we used
in a
it
populated area.
Yeah, we used it in Dublin, and so but I would definitely. I mean, we're going to go to Disney World at some point here soon. We're absolutely going to use this. So it was I think it was $12 for these 2 bracelets, and then you put the AirTag inside, and I just renamed them to the name of each kid, and I knew exactly where they were.
What's cool about it is, if I'm right, you can actually ping the device, and the AirTag will chime like a soft, very high pitched kind of chime, and that's another way to notify hey, I can't find you. You can have a protocol with your child. Say, if your AirTag is beginning to sing, don't move. Right.
I'm coming for you.
I'm coming for you, and I'm just signaling to you. And they're very useful, to put it on keys, to put it on the Velcro to the back of the TV remote or whatever.
Yeah, you could do 1,000,001 things with them.
So they're useful not just for travel. You can put them, around your house and whatnot. Put them on your dog.
Yeah, and I think there's ones that are more like hidden if you wanted it to be if somebody abducted your kid that like that you can hide it in their shoe. There's like different things that are. We weren't worried about an abduction as much as just a child getting lost from us in a crowded place. So, but yes, AirTags were like really big fans of. I think that they work great, and we're super happy that we had. It gave us just good peace of mind.
Yeah, it's really a peace of mind purchase. Something that we did with our toys and electronics, you have all these little disparate things, and you got to kind of stuff. Put them all together, and it'd be nice to have these little zipper pouches. And you found a really great product, and it was actually made in Ireland, right, by a family.
Well, no, that was I did find these sealable 1 gallon size toiletry bags. It was made from a family in Ireland. There was like 3 of them, and we used those. They were like heavy duty plastic instead of the really thin Ziploc, which we usually put all our toiletries in a Ziploc. These held up much better, and I didn't have to worry about anything breaking open. While we were like. Sometimes, something's in a Ziploc, and this was stouter, so I really appreciated that. But the zippered pouches that we got, I was like, it was like $20 on Amazon. I swear it was like 30 pieces, and there were pouches that were bigger than
30 different pouches, in different sizes, and everything.
There was like bigger than document size, all the way down to ones that were probably like
a pencil pouch,
3 by 3. No, there was even smaller ones.
Oh, wow.
The ones, remember the ones we had like their hair ties and stuff in.
Yes.
So because we had the kids' hair ties in one. We had all of our entertainment, like our Roku and our HDMI cable in one. We had our camera stuff in one. We had a
pencils
journal
and
kit
crayons
in one.
And journal kit, yeah.
We had coloring books in one.
And then didn't we have some with like the toys, with the Barbie toys and stuff?
Yeah. So we had a couple for their doll. They each brought like their 18-inch like My Generation dolls or whatever.
Yeah.
And we had each of them. And it was, what was really nice about these? It gave the kids a sense of like, this is what you can take. Mm-hmm. So we were able to say, here, take this and put all of Francesca's, clothes and stuff for her dolls. Her doll's name's Francesca. Take all of her stuff and put it in here. And only what will fit in here is all you can bring. And that like gave them something, because otherwise the kids just want to bring more and more. So it was really great to give them something. And I put labels on the outside of them. I had these really great freezer labels, and I just like stuck them on there and labeled them. And so when it came to organizing, and then we pulled things out when we got there, it was great. And when we were going home, able to put everything back in and organize it all. I put games, we love board games. So I was able to take games out of boxes before we left, and I was able to put them in there and label what games were in which pouches. And the pouches were amazing.
Well, and they're actually
so amazing.
We're continuing to use them. We went to dinner tonight, and I grabbed one of the pouches that has coloring pencils and crayons and pencils, just basic, mechanical pencils. And we went to dinner, and, we had notebooks in that they could color in and stuff. Absolutely useful for just your homeschool in general. So
right, and they're not waterproof, but they are like plastic on the outside.
But they're like more heavy duty.
Yeah, like if you spilled water on the outside, it would not leak through. But if you obviously the zipper part was not like waterproof. But I felt like they were pretty good to put our stuff in. I felt like they were pretty safe, and we've been using them all the time. I think it was an amazing purchase.
Yeah, great purchase. You alluded to in the last episode another packing option. So this was we use these Ziploc bags for packing little things, but you talked about packing the clothes in the pouches. So what's a packing pouch?
Yeah, the packing cubes. I've heard all about packing cubes before, and I never knew what they are, but they're you can get like a set of them, and basically they're pre-sized to fit in standard luggage configurations, right? Your standard roller, your medium-sized bag. These are zippered pouches that are, I don't know what they're like.
It was like 3 or 4 inches tall.
4 or 5 inches tall. Yeah.
But flat. Like you could think of like a really big book. That's super thick.
Right. Yes. Yeah, so you can unzip it. And the idea here is that you don't have to roll all your clothes to make them super tight. You can actually just stack them in here, and then you can really compress them and zipper them in. And I found I got an intense amount of clothes in each one of these, more than I could have gotten if I just put everything in the bag, and then nothing fell out. Like everything, nothing was all.
Open up your suitcase and nothing falls out.
Right, and knowing that's like, oh, hey, kid number 1, this is your packing cube. And I could just hand it to them. Here, this is all your clothes. They weren't all mixed together. It also came with like 4 different sizes of packing cubes and a shoe zippered pouch, which was great. I was able to put our hiking boots in there, and when they were dirty later, I didn't have to worry about that. And then it came with a laundry bag. So it was a pretty good, like a 6-piece set. And I think we only have one set of packing cubes right now. I will probably buy another set for our next trip because they were so convenient. I'm a convert. I thought, why do we need a bag for our bags? I'm a convert.
Well, it was really nice to see that you would grab this bag and you just put it straight in the back and into the roller.
It made packing and repacking super easy.
Super easy. I mean, you had to do the packing on the side and you had to put it all in there, but once it came to like putting everything into the bag, it was really quick. It was like in. And then it also was pretty easy to come apart. And you can almost imagine, you could live out of that little zippered bag yourself. Like if you organize it in a certain way, you could just unzipper it and then, your shirts are in layers and your underwear's right here and your socks are right here.
And that's the way that the packing cubes were marked. Yeah. It was like one was supposed to be for pants, one was supposed to be for shirts, one was supposed to be for like bras and underwear and stuff. So that's the way that it was planned. But we just went ahead and divvied them up, and I was able to give the smaller packing cubes, like especially to our 3-year-old, that held all her clothes in one of those small packing cubes. And it was great. Those were a godsend. I loved the packing cubes. I didn't think I'd like them this much. Yeah. But yeah, I'm totally a convert now. Packing cubes for the win.
Talking about getting everything into something, one of the things you want to get everyone into is a picture. One of the things
Danzition. That was a good Danzition.
That was a good one. I know. So one of the things
that paid nothing for nothing.
Nothing for nothing. One of the things that we always laugh about is when we go on vacation or we go anywhere, we end up getting photos of Ariel and the kids or me and the kids, and it's never me, Ariel, and the kids.
Yeah,
and ever. It's like the family photos are we actually cherish those because it's like when we get all 4 of us in the photo, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
One of the things you can do is get yourself kind of a stand or some type of GorillaPod. Be able to have a clip for a phone.
And I recommend the GorillaPod. We just bought a regular tripod, and let me tell you, it was really windy in Ireland, and it just kept falling over.
It's great to like kind of tie onto
the GorillaPods. Yeah, they have these like
flexible legs that kind of wrap
like
around.
An octopus.
Yeah, if you want to put it around like a tree branch or around like at the edge of a
railing.
Wall or railing or something, you can tighten it down, and then it's pretty rigid. And then more importantly, once you're away and your family is now staring at this camera, who's going to hit the picture button? A little Bluetooth clicker button for cueing that photo is super helpful. The little Bluetooth clickers, you can get them for like less than $10.
No, yeah, it was a wireless remote shutter. I think it was like $15. It was way worth it because I knew
essentially it is triggering the volume button on your phone, which I think when you are in picture mode, very often it can act as a shutter option, so it is cued in on that.
Right, exactly. And so it will click the picture, it will start a video recording and stop a video recording, and that's how we got all of the pictures of all of us together. Yeah. So the only thing we could have done better was had a GorillaPod to go with it. We swear we had one, but we can't find it. Yeah. Maybe it'll turn up someday, but I would definitely get yourself a really stout one if you're going to go anywhere that might be windy, because it was really hard. Tripods just tended to fall over, but the wireless remote shutter. And it's Bluetooth, so you don't have Wi-Fi or anything.
Yeah, and it was great. When you turn it on, connected almost immediately. There was no delay, and you could test, a couple pictures when you were getting it all set up. I did notice that if you had it like behind me, it wouldn't trigger because maybe it's a pretty weak Bluetooth signal.
Yeah, I think it was almost like it needed line of sight.
It didn't, but it's not because it's Bluetooth.
Right, but if you just kind of hold it at your side, hold it down, it worked great.
It worked fine.
And there's a bunch of different brands, so definitely get yourself a remote shutter.
Absolutely. Moving on, one of the things that I always find to be annoying is when you're sitting at the carousel. And you're waiting for your luggage to come, and you're like, "Ooh, that black bag looks like my black bag. It looks like that black bag."
They all look the same.
One of the great things you can do is actually get a couple things: a luggage strap that goes around your luggage, and choose a really wild color. Right, for the girls, do hot pink or something like that.
Yeah, and I would recommend going with all the same color for your whole family so that you know what you're looking for.
Choose a thematic design. Sometimes these straps can come in different designs.
Right.
Just choose something that is in line with. You're right. All the ones that are the flowers are ours.
Right.
And then choosing name tags as well. That was something that you added.
Yeah. So you can get these really great silicone luggage straps, and you can just put the tag on there, write all your information on there, and it's really great because they're in bright neon colors. I wouldn't recommend getting the multi-pack because it has some really dark colors. I would get all yellow or all pink or all orange, just so you can really tell. And then you have these straps. The great thing about luggage straps is really twofold. One, it does help you to identify your stuff on the carousel. Even if you can't see the small tag hanging off the end, you can definitely always see the luggage strap, which is great. The other thing is, if anything happens to your luggage and you have a zipper break or something, your stuff will not be strewn all over the place because you have this strap that's helping and giving you another layer of protection. And when you're using a hard shell cases is what we had, kind of that. I don't know. It's a slick side, but it's not real thick. It's semi-hard shell. I don't know. Yeah. Those, kind of Samsonite ones you can get. I felt good knowing that we had this extra layer of protection because it's traveling a long way, and that they really manhandle those bags because they're moving so quickly. So I think having good luggage straps and good bag tags is really important.
Last one that we like to do, if you're traveling with a spouse and your spouse has an expensive ring,
or by yourself,
last thing you want to do is lose that jewelry that is the most important to you, your wedding band or a nice watch or whatnot. Try to leave those at home and then pick something that might be a little bit more sacrificial. And so you and I both picked up. Well, you picked up
we have these wooden travel wedding rings.
Yeah, and we're actually using them right now because we're waiting to get to our final destination with weight.
Yeah, both of our rings are our wedding rings are too big right now. And we don't want to get them finally sized until we've finished losing the last of our weight. But yes, so we have these just wooden wedding bands.
They're really
so
nice.
We don't have to worry about anybody thinking that this. I mean, even if your wedding ring or any rings that you're wearing aren't super expensive, we just didn't want to be a Target in a city with jewelry. So we have like our Fitbits and we have these wooden wedding rings. So consider getting maybe a travel ring.
And my ring was only like $20.
It was like less than that. And it was from Amazon. It was super
nice.
cheap.
I like it.
It's like a metal wooden mix.
Wooden epoxy type of thing. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's fine. And it's just
there's like a billion different designs.
There is a lot of like pickpocketing and stuff like that going on in major cities. And we didn't want to make ourselves a target in any way. So we just decided to get travel rings. And we also didn't want to be, out of our norm and end up losing a ring. Yeah, so if your rings are loose fitting or you're going to a major metropolitan area, you might want to consider getting some travel wedding rings, and you can leave your other jewelry at home.
Exactly. So that was the couple of interesting products and things that we used for going overseas and whatnot. And obviously there's many things we could point out, but those are a couple of the ones that
these were the ones that were sticking out to us.
Yeah, we kind of made a nice little fun list of items. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Next week, we're going to talk about the journals. So definitely stay tuned for that. And we will see you next week.
Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
happy homeschooling!